Hi, this is Jason Major from Sweaty Heroes Comic Bargains. My friend Kevin Hookie gave me some great ideas for how to reboot the show, make it a little bit more cooler and interesting. Today we're going to focus on Superman comics that I found in the Dollar Bin and how to organize them, as well as some cool storylines. So, you're going to see that we have Adventures of Superman here, and then we have all these are Adventures of Superman. So that's a cool cover. We have two copies here. You can see this one has a little bit more like creases here. This is a nice brighter condition. So this is the one you would want to get if you are more worried about condition. This is more if you're just concerned about copy, reading copy. Both for a quarter. This is so we have these, and Fall of Metropolis was a cool storyline that's not in trade. I highly recommend it. And it's a storyline where basically Lex Luthor created some defense systems for Metropolis, but they go a little haywire. And instead of protecting Metropolis, they destroy Metropolis. And it's a cool storyline that's not been ever in trade. I highly recommend it. Then we go to, from there, we got a pile of Action Comics. Action Comics Weekly was weekly for a year, and it had an anthology series with a variety of different stories. This one has The Demon, Phantom Stranger, Wild Dog. Superman's only in it for about 2 pages, but it has a variety of stories. Hero Hotline, which you've never heard of probably. And the benefit of this was an anthology, which was a variety of characters, but on the same time, I think that they should have, when they did that anthology for a year experiment, it should have been more probably, at least tonally, all the characters, like maybe Superman family. So, for example, if you're going to do Detective Comics, do Detective Comics with the Bat family characters. Here's here's a couple Action Comics for the DC Rebirth era. We'll get more into this later. And this is a cardstock cover. So again, I've talked about it, like cardstock covers are $5.99 US. Even more expensive for Canadians here. For us, I'm Canadian. But you can find it at a quarter bin. So if you're getting a variant cover thinking it's going to go up in value, not necessarily. I'd get it more for the cover design. This is a cool cover. And then I picked up an issue of Adventures of Super Sons. We'll talk about this. That's Damian Wayne, of course, and that's Jonathan Kent when he was 10 years old. We'll explain why he's 10 years old in some books and older in others. And then over here, we got Man of Steel #2. But how are we going to put these in order? Because this is Superman, Man of Steel. This is Superman, Man of Steel. Superman, Man of Steel. Superman, Man of Steel. Superman, Man of Steel. And Superman, Man of Tomorrow. So, just quickly, I'll say that John Byrne did a series called Man of Steel, without the Superman title, back in '86, which was the reboot and origin of Superman post-Crisis. Bendis did a similarly titled Man of Steel, that was 6 issues. Not the same in the sense that it's not like a year one tale, but it is kind of like him kind of showing his new status quo for the character. And as we will talk about later, one of the things he did later on is he changed Superman's son from being 10 years old to a teenager for some reason. Okay. So this is actually, in your filing, you might want to say can go would behind the ongoing Superman Man of Steel. That's how I would do it anyways. You could put it, or you could put it under miscellaneous, depending on how your filing system. If you have a Superman miscellaneous section, you put this in. You put this one probably in your miscellaneous section. If you just kind of combine all of them together, then I would put Superman Man of Steel here, and then this Man of Steel behind it, because it came out afterwards, after that series had been completed. All right. Then you got all these Supermans here. So Superman 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Well, wait a minute. This is 14. Obviously a different era. We'll talk about that in a second. 14 again. So which one comes in what order? 15, 16, 17, 18, 18, 19, 19, another 19, 20, 21, 22, 24, 24. That was a 25. Well, obviously this doesn't come after that. And then 27, 88, 115, 123, 362, obviously an older book, 650, and then 684. And then you have Adventures of Superman here, which you have here, this, we've shown, I think. And so what I'm trying to explain is, what order do these go in? So how do you know? So, first of all, Action Comics. Let's do Action Comics because it's the easiest. Action Comics, obviously, this is in order. Now, I will explain that with Action Comics, they had, when the New 52 came out, Action Comics became renumbered with a no number 1. And so you would put Volume 2 behind that. But then it goes back to the legacy numbering. So it doesn't go back to the old numbering. And it picks up with the new numbering with over here. So you would have an issue 52 of Action Comics. Then you go to this DC Rebirth era. And then you continued on. And so Action Comics is pretty easy because of the fact that, for the most part, you don't have to worry about it. It's only been 2 runs. But Superman is where we get confused. Because what really happened with Superman is that it started out with Superman. And then when 1986, when they rebooted the character, it became The Adventures of Superman. And then later on, about issue 650, it became just adjectiveless Superman again. So what we're going to do is, I'm going to put Adventures of Superman, for the sake of this video, behind all of Superman Volume 1, like that. And so this is Superman Volume 1, and then we'll put that right here. So that's Superman Volume 1. Done. Done. Now, what about that other Adventure of Superman we have? Well, we can either put it under A for Adventures, or you can put it in the Superman Miscellaneous section behind your other Supermans and put it under A for Adventures. That's how I would do it, probably. Put Miscellaneous Superman right there. But again, if you want to, I mean, you could split this up and put Superman and then put Adventures in Superman under A, and then come back to Superman. But if you for your personal long box, I would recommend putting all Volume 1 together. And if it was for a store, you have the option of separating it into Superman, Adventures of Superman, and then come back and do Superman later. And then, after that, you can see we have the other Superman title. We have the other Superman title. So this is the Bendis era. This is the Thomas A area. So Bendis, 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 Bendis. So what you would do is you look for the same creative team maybe as a hint, but in the end, what you would have to do really is look in the back. Look in the back, find out what the date is, and that'll tell you which series this goes with. Because otherwise, you might actually, even with the banner being the same, sometimes it is the same. So we got this is Bendis, this is Bendis, this is Bendis, this is Bendis, Bendis, Rebirth, Bendis, original, Bendis, Rebirth, Bendis, Rebirth, original, Rebirth, and then all these are the originals. So, what you got is, I'll show you quickly, Superman Volume 2, and when you get to the Triangle era, you'll see that there's these triangles. That's because there was 4 monthly titles. So Superman, Man of Steel, and the other comics would have those triangles on them, and that's for putting it in reading order. So the 4 monthly titles, you'd have Superman, then Action Comics, Adventure Superman, Superman, Man of Steel, and a quarterly Superman, Man of Tomorrow sometimes. So you could put those in reading order if you want to. If in your box, I would put them in reading order if you wanted to. Otherwise, this is Superman Volume 2, which started in 86. You would find out the date to find out that this took place after New 52, because we don't have any New 52 issues. This is Superman Rebirth, so this would probably be Superman Volume 4. And then this is Volume 5. So you'd want to do that next. And then after that, and also we have the Superman special here, which is by Peter Tomasi. So you'd have to do some research, and you'd find out that this actually goes as part of an annual, so to speak, for the DC Rebirth era. And then we have Adventures of Superman, of course, which I would say you can put under A. So I hope that helps you in terms of knowing how to file some of your Superman books. And stay sweaty.